innovative product. I think that, just adding a tab, right? All we did was really add a tab in a customizable option up there, just so that you could, like you said, Jeff, get the guy you like. And then we also have MLB licensing for the labels. So you can actually go on our website now and buy, if the Paul Skeens, card gets hit, he could throw it in a Mac Pro with a, Pirates label on it or something like that. Or
Jameel Muhammad and Jeff Cardozo dive into the hobby, which is sports cards, trading cards, as well as all other collectibles, right now on the Meelypod Hobby Podcast, live from the Coach's Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill.
All right, hey everybody, it is that time again. It is the Meelypod Hobby Podcast coming at you from Spurrier's Gridiron Grill here in the podcast room. He is Jameel Muhammad, I am Jeff Cardozo, and this is episode 25.
Wow.
So we've had a couple of basketball greats in a row. Of course, Jordan 23, Kobe 24. So maybe best basketballer Vince Carter edition?
Auburndale High School,
Yeah.
I think, in Florida, right?
Florida.
And then he went to, of course, UNC, where Jordan was at. Great, I think, absolutely, bar none, greatest dunker of all time.
Can you dunk?
Yeah, of course, in middle school and high school on my 7 and 8 foot rim. Yeah. On the 10-foot rim, that's a different story, I think. So I think when you get to this age, you when you jump, you hit the ground a lot faster than you think. You think you're in the air, but really you're not.
But now you can be cool by those indoor
Yeah.
Nerf glow up neon baskets and just do some cool things.
We need to do a trampoline game at one of those parks and play basketball. Those look like a
would-
lot of injuries too, I'm sure, but a lot of fun.
That would be legit. And speaking of legit, I know it was a big weekend for you because you had just a ginormous day. We talked about it a lot last week, but renting tents and food trucks and people coming over and PSA and Olympians. And gosh, it was just a smorgasbord of people at the Meelypod shop.
Yeah, we wanted to have kind of I think just an event, you know, and be about the community. And so many times I hear about shops and other people saying, we're for the hobby, we're for kids, we're for the future, all these things. But I don't see the meat I see the potatoes, but I don't see the meat, right? And so I think for this event, when we had planned it out, PSA had worked with us on this date, and then I had reached out to Caleb, and then I said, why don't we just do a trade day on top of all of it? It's all started to come together. And so, creating an event where you have to have a tent outside and extra seating and food trucks because you want people to be, full and fat and happy, and you want people to be trading, and you want people to be there for the event. And I couldn't have asked for more perfect weather. I think it was like 74 or something. It was 55 in the morning, and they got like 70, 74 in that range. And it was just perfect for that. So we have to keep that in mind in the state of Florida about doing other events like this. PSA has already contacted us and said that they want to do another one, which is great. So we're looking for maybe Q2 next year, trying to do this again, Q1, Q2. The tricky thing is, in the state of Florida, as we get closer to, out of Q1, it's rain, and then just that thing called humidity.
Yeah.
So, and again, you don't want cards and items out like that. So we'll figure something out. Maybe we get more tents. Maybe we'll figure out, get some AC units pumping air in there or something.
Well, since you mentioned 55 to 74, I'm sure there was people of that age, but I know there was a lot of kids too, and gosh, even college age kids and young adults like us.
Yeah, there we go.
So there were those, we were throwing those in too. But I think that's probably the coolest part is, it's really unique where you see people age 7 and 8 and people that are 88.
Sure.
That all love to be a part of the hobby, be a part of these types of things.
I saw a lot of big kids this weekend. So I noticed that with these signings that we do, these are people that, of course, come in the shop all the time, and there's people I've never met, but everyone just kind of becomes a big kid. And the thing I'll talk about Caleb here is I'd known him from our podcast, and I've known about him very similar like a Grant Holloway. Met him on the phone and talked to him through text and Instagram. But when you meet these people, I don't know if it's just a Olympic thing or a Gator thing or what, but the way these men carry themselves and the humility that they have, right? And talking to kids and the amount of times Caleb was encouraging kids who swam and asked them what strokes they swam, what clubs they swam in, and just was so into everyone else. There were multiple people who saw our video where Caleb was talking about on the podcast the Pokemon cards, and they brought in these Pokemon cards to get him to sign them. And how cool was it? He didn't just sign them and say, I like Pokemon. He said, oh, this is blank blank from this generation, or what this come out of, or what pack this come out of. And it just kind of shows, the insight and the intricacy of this guy. So just an incredible time we had. So many people with smiles, and he allowed people to wear his gold medals in their pictures. And a lot of the kids had no idea how heavy they were or what. So kids would get the picture and they put it in front of their face when they're smiling and stuff. So a lot of cute moments that way. But I just think those memories, you're able to create that in the shop. And that's what we hope to be doing, like I said, with events and being about the hobby and the community, is build that. And then I think that was, shout out to Caleb, and please go follow him. And if you don't know anything about him, he has an Instagram channel. He has a YouTube channel. He just started with swimming tips, and just a great human being outside of all the other accolades. Another cool thing was, I noticed is, he downplays a lot of that too, and wants to talk about him Olympian, all this, but he just kind of says, I'm just Caleb, and I just think that was really cool. He says he likes vintage hats, and those kinds of things that just make up who he is, and that's a good time spending with Caleb. He signed a ton of autographs, free autographs, even some people got some bonus ones. He signed a ton of stuff for the shop, so we've been giving them away to people that couldn't make it. We'll probably have a giveaway tied in with our social media account soon. I want to do something near the end of the year, so be tuned into that on our Instagram, our Facebook, our TikTok. We're going to have a big giveaway we're going to do, and he'll have some Caleb Dressel items in that as well.
Sweet. That's what it's all about. And items, I know a lot of people brought their items because it was not only that, but PSA was there. So how was that?
Yeah, PSA came with 5 guys from Cali, and it was yeah, they came out from Cali. We had a shout out to Jack, the security guard. He was this big. His name, he literally was jacked. Jack was jacked. And he was the security guy, ran the event, helped a lot with the lines. We had people come from really all Central Florida, Tampa, Jacksonville, South Georgia, the Panhandle. We had people from kind of everywhere coming to this event. And I learned a lot about kind of these events where there are people that were in our town, Gainesville, that said they live 15, 20 minutes, had never been to our shop. Wow. There were people that came from way out, but they had cards like Michael Jordan rookie cards, for example. We had 3 come in at the show, or at the event, and they didn't know what they really had, and they were in these cases that were just kind of plastered, and they thought that they were going to get their card graded immediately. And people were saying, "Oh, I saw a PSA 10 sell for $200,000." I'm like, "Yeah, but that's not what these ones are." So that education is so important, and we're getting into a time, Jeff, where I think for the local card shop, I say this even more so than ever, is if you're not pivoting and you're not finding unique ways to, I think, engage community. Just yesterday, GameStop came out. This is a Wall Street level news here, but GameStop brought on Nat Turner as part of their board. Nat Turner's the head of PSA, have collectors. So they brought him on, and I went on actually on E-Trade the other night and looked, and that was an article on the E-Trade under GameStop was and why I say this is GameStop will be grading cards soon. Well, they kind of are now. They're buying cards, and there's 2,500 stores domestically. So just in that little pocket right there, just putting your thinking cap on, well, if 2,500 GameStops become card shops, right? What happens to the local card shop? Yeah. So it's something to think about. And I know that our shop and other shops out there, guys that we've had on this show that are awesome card shop owners, will be fine. But if you're getting into this, or you think it's a very easy, cookie cutter type mentality, that's not gonna float. There's gonna be a lot of competition moving forward. Fanatics is 10xing the hobby, as they say. So just keep that in mind. It's not to scare anybody, but I think more so to challenge you to say, how are you really, cultivating what you've been gifted with your shops.
Yeah, 100%. You mentioned the Michael Jordans, and people don't realize what they have. When they pull it out of something like that, like what's going on in your mind or their mind, or I guess other people that may see this, like, holy cow, there's a Jordan rookie right there.
Yeah, this is going to be a good. We have for our guests too. Good intro to our guest today, Clint, who works with Zion Cases, and he also has a lot to do with protection and casing.
Sure.
So a lot of these people, this is a little nerdy learning moment here, have these old 90s screw down cases.
Yeah.
And they have the single screw down on the tops, and they have the quad screw downs. So back in the 90s, the 80s and 90s, these were marketed as, put your big cards in these, you'll never have to worry about them. So what people did is they took these 2 pieces of plexi, put them together, and screwed them as hard as they could at the 4 corners. And then what happened was they left them in there. Didn't put a sleeve on the card, didn't think to do any of those things. There's no indentation for the card to sit in. So what happens is now they come to Meelypod shop 2024, 35, 40 years later. I've never took it out. This is mint condition.
Together.
And so we go, we can help you with it because PSA won't, help, this. They don't want to liable for things. So we teach techniques, and luckily all 3 of them came out pretty well. They were all in these quad screw downs. And I got a funny story, and maybe we'll show a video sometime in this, but one of the guys, I don't think he knew what he had, got it out, and he had his just bare hands taking it, took it out, and then I think his buddy just kind of razzed him and said, "Hey, man, wipe your fingerprints off that." So no joke, he took the card, the Michael Jordan 86-87 Fleer rookie, put it flat on the table, and rubbed it really quick.
Oh,
and
no.
the audio, the gasp that people had, and I think he realized what he did after it. But then he went to go submit the PSA. So might have been an 8, now it's a 4 or a 5. But it is kind of one of those things people do, and you would think after all those years in that second, in that moment. So these kinds of things happen more than you realize, especially with how people store cards, how they take care of them. But I will say this. People were happy. They were able to interact with PSA. They came out. They did some really unique things at the event, just helping people with grading tickets, grading Funkos, grading oversized items, and then, of course, all sports cards, packs they were grading as well. So they took all this in, and a lot of people were able to use their app, which is beautiful. Like, they're in line outside on an app, submitting their cards in line, and then they come up and they literally print up their submission. Wow. It's done. So technology's come a long way. PSA has a really cool, shout out to PSA, they have a cool scanning feature in their app. You literally scan the card, it does a little and then it gives you the card information, so you don't have to type it in. So that was another cool feature, bringing people to that. And I think there's a synergy there. I will say this, a lot of people have said to me, why are you having PSA come into your shop? They're just going to take all your customers. I'm being raw here, folks, but the truth is, you're putting a business inside a business, but the two businesses have a synergy, and there's a co-op there where I think we work together. I would have never have met the 30, 40, 50 customers that came into our shop, whether they were one guy 7 minutes away that I've never met in his life, and he had 55 Mickey Mantles and all the stuff he was grading. These kinds of people were ushered in by PSA. They marketed for the event. Sure, are these people maybe going to continue grading with them, create an account? Yeah, but now they know there's a local card shop that knows how to do these events, have PSA there, and a trade day and Caleb Dressel. So it was I think it was a win-win for all parties. I was very thankful for it. We had very minimal issues with people, very minimal hiccups during the event. But a lot of people left happy that they could submit their cards to PSA. And I'll say the last thing, I noticed so many TCG folks out there really grading their Pokemon, their One Piece, these kinds of things. They were Lorcana. That was a big push. I would say it was half of the submissions were TCG. So shows me that the TCG world is just expanding even more, when it comes to grading.
Yeah, it is certainly expanding. And, something that is expanding now around the boxes of the world was the wax we had last week. We brought out a certain box, and there was some patches in there that you had told me about to go try to look for, and certainly everybody else to look for. And it's awesome because I think you knew how special these things were really going to be. One of ones, and it's these rookies, and now Paul Skeens is obviously the Rookie of the Year, just announced the other day. And Pittsburgh Pirates come out as an organization and say, hey, we want this card. Yeah. And they put the bounty on it, and they season tickets for 30 years right behind the plate, a softball game, spring training experience, and then even more, Livy Dunn comes out and says, you can come hang out with me in the suite if we get this card. So I don't know if that's worth it, but one, how crazy is that for an organization to do that? Yeah. And then two, have we seen any of these things pulled yet?
So I think what's happening with these debut patches is they are becoming the true, incredible collectible for that player. Yeah. And I think the value of these will rise. And that was Fanatics' goal, going back a few years when they announced these things. So no one's pulled a Paul Skeens. I don't know, maybe you did, and you haven't told anybody yet out of your box. You said it was a Colton Cowser auto, but you're going to really secretly maneuver this is what's going on.
Well, hang out with Livy Dunn now. It might be worth it.
You better hope they stay together for a while, because, I was thinking about that the other day. It's like, what happened? They have a breakup, She's still going to let you sit in the box with her? Right. But that was an amazing thing from a hype standpoint, from a social media standpoint. Everybody was talking about it. What would you do if you got it? And I think that's where we're getting now in sports cards is people are starting to realize there's more to this than just collecting for oneself. There's a monetary value associated that you can't even comprehend. I don't know what I would do. People have asked me this card about 5-10 times this week. Just what would you do if you got a Jameel? So I think that's creating a buzz that's needed for the Pirates organization to come out and to make this bounty claim. Also speaks to me a lot about where the MLB is when it comes to sports cards. They're embracing it to the nth degree now. So I think they would get this card if they do get it and put it in a shrine somewhere. Now you have this card where all hobbyists around the world would know about
Sure.
to come visit the park. So I think it's a brilliant marketing plan, and the Pirates need a little juice,
Yeah.
NL Central, we have a Cubs fan coming on. I'm a Cardinals fan. The Pirates, they've been we've been allowed to beat up on them for a while. So who knows now? But with Skeens, he's a pitcher, and long-term value, I think they gave away a lot of oomph for a pitcher. So we'll see what happens with that and where it's at. You asked me if other things have been pulled. So I've been watching. There has been one pull just the other night. Ellie De La Cruz debut patch was pulled, autograph. So that's got to be a good six-figure card right there. Maybe the Reds will come out and make a bounty. Who knows? But that's the biggest one that I know so far.
And how did that come about? Just like in an online break?
Yeah, somebody must have, he was buying it through about a pick your team spot.
Okay.
It had the Reds, and they bought the Reds, and the guy literally pulled it out of a Breaker's Delight box. So.
Wow.
That's his life's changed. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's a thing where lives can change through sports cards, and I love it.
That's really cool.
I love it. So yeah, debut patches are here, 101. They're super cool. They're only in Update Chrome. You can find them on meelypops.com, scmeelypops.com. We've had some of the best price. We've been flying through the stuff. We've had phone calls, people hollering at me, "Hey, is this you have the product where I can get that Paul Skeens card?" And I'm like, we do. There's one of them,
really
but
hard.
we do. Yeah, there's one of them, just so you know that. But yeah, just the influx and people we haven't seen, so that's cool.
That's really cool. So congrats on a wonderful weekend, and I guess it capped off with the Gators winning a football game here locally, so that certainly helps as well. And now, we talk about betting, and that's gambling is trying to get cards. You remember the over-under on Florida at the beginning of the year by Vegas was 4.5 wins.
Right.
So Gators now have 5 wins.
If you're a true Gator fan, you got 5 wins.
Yeah, you got your 5.
This is a little secret here. I'll just throw this out. The 2 big offensive stars of the game, DJ Lagway, Jaden Baugh, might be doing a little something with them in the future. So just keep your eyes peeled in the 2025 quarter 1 time frame.
Look at that.
So,
That's what we call a tease.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen. All right, we'll take a break. We've got a great guest for you. Clint Anderson of Zion Cases about to grace us with his presence, and we'll have some fun with Clint when we get back here on the Meelypod Hobby Podcast.
Albert, Alberta, I understand you were witnesses to a crash. Can you tell us about the accident? When you're in a crash, it's important to get witness statements immediately after the accident. Whether you're in a car, truck, motorcycle, scooter, or even a golf cart accident, at Meldon Law, we won't back down.
This is Jameel, owner of the Meelypod shop, Gainesville's home for collectibles of all sorts, including every single type of sports cards, whether it be Panini, Topps, Leaf, Upper Deck. We have it. Come on in, get yourself a box, a pack, get yourself some supplies, get into our breaks, get your Pokemon, get your Yu-Gi-Oh! All the other different kinds of TCG products that we carry and shop are always fully in stock. You can find our stuff on our website as well, meelypops.com. That's another way you can interact with the store, or you can just come into the shop. We're located off 39th Avenue by I-75 behind Walgreens and Sonny's. Stop on by. We're open every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And you can check us out on our social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, whatnot, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We'd love to see you. Come on out to the shop, have some fun, be a part of the card community here in Gainesville, and always go Gators.
All right, we welcome you back to the Meelypod Hobby Podcast here in Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Jeff and Jameel now going to bring on a guy that I've heard a lot of. Jameel, you've hyped him up a bunch. I know Fanatics Fest was a big deal with these Zion cases. So excited to talk to Clint Anderson.
Yeah, Clint has been somebody I've known for years through the card show circuit. He is, when we talk about someone who hustles and grinds and really just pushes, this is a guy that has really built a brand and created something very special and really is synonymous with the hobby. When we hear Zion cases, everybody knows what that is. So looks like Clint's on virtual, man. What's up, man? We're excited to have you.
What's up, guys? How we doing? I appreciate the intro.
Well, Clint, I'd love to share with our listeners and our viewers a little bit about your timeline, because Zion has been this nice name that's kind of come out of nowhere, and now you have all these products, this website, branding, you're doing all sorts of stuff with MagPro. Would you mind giving us just a little bit, a little historical lesson about where Zion came from and how you built this brand?
For sure, yeah. No, 2017, I started kicking around some ideas for some storage options. Ended up dialing in a tool case, basically aluminum style, with obviously the foam, which is essentially the slab case, which was not a term, at that time. And this hobby, just like anything, man, change. That everybody still wanted to use their cardboard boxes and their Tupperware in the beginning and things like that. I was one of them, and I still do. Honestly, I still got stuff in cardboard boxes and Tupperware, but it was something I thought, I'm already going to the shows in 2000, like 14, 15, 16. I started setting up in 16 and 17. And I thought, why not, add some cases to the setup and just see what happens. And then it started off a little slow. Just like anything, like you said, we definitely had to grind. I had to grind for sure to kind of explain the product and what the need of it was for, because man, at the end of the day, a lot, and this just like anybody, Mealy, I mean, you're one of the bigger vendors in the industry. You're bringing a lot of product worth a lot of money, and just to kind of have that in a cardboard box or Tupperware didn't seem right to me. So I felt like, there's got to be some better opportunities that we can do, and honestly bring our industry into what would be the modern day, because I think there's a lot of options and products out there that we didn't need to be using cardboard and Tupperware anymore.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So I want to learn a little bit more, and I've kind of new to cards, still trying to understand different things, but I've heard that name Zion everywhere, and just know how great it is from the case world. So when you talk about building this and the grind and everything you've gone through, do you know really how many units you've sold this for?
Oh, yeah. I didn't think that it would be this way. That's for sure. I just assumed I would always have a regular job and do this on the side and kind of go from there. But it got too big, and as Jameel knows, he sees me at a lot of shows. We went to 58 shows this year. I think it's 58. It might be 57 or something. But we had the last 3 months is and Jameel probably can attest to this as well. It's been the craziest 3 months of shows with Fanatic Access ad and everything else. So having not expecting what was going to come, being at about 150,000 cases is where we're kind of pushing towards the end of this year, total. So it was, yeah, I didn't think that number would be even attainable, to be honest. I really thought that, this would be something we'd probably sell, a few thousand units of or something, but on a daily basis, we're shipping out quite a bit, internationally, domestically, everything. So, and we have our wholesale program has really helped with the units, honestly, because we have a
Sure.
lot of wholesale opportunities. So, a lot of guys are, this is an easy margin opportunity in products. So, guys are, taking the product, putting it in their shops and turning and selling them. So that's an easy way to get obviously volume up. But yeah, 150,000 units is what we'll be at roughly at the end of this year,
Yeah,
based
no,
on projection.
that's incredible just to think about. And I think about you going back to the cardboard box days and creating all these different things. Do you have a favorite Zion creation so far?
I mean, I've always liked the backpack. We're actually, I went through different kind of layouts and ideas around the backpack. We've got a new one coming. We actually got two new ones coming. One that's going to be a little bit smaller of a backpack that's going to hold like 20, 30 cards, but it have a little bit more of a softer and protection, around what aesthetically looking as well, something that'll be like nice to carry around the show. And then we got a larger backpack that'll actually carry our Slabcase X version, which is our 3 row. A lot of guys have been looking for a little bit more on their back because the standard backpack that we have currently has about 50 to 60 cards in the case that it fits that one. And it's also a functional backpack. It's got, all the charging ports, it's got all the pockets, it's got everything you want. And then the case is actually removable. So I take that, I take it on trips and things like that as well. So it's
Okay.
that would be my favorite product.
To get you a backpack,
Heck
Jeff.
yeah.
Sling all your 90s
Yeah,
and
yeah.
baseball in the back, just
We'll,
walking
we'll,
around.
we'll we'll have to talk when we get into some of the discussions about what we got coming up in the future, because there is
Sure.
some customizable things that we could do in-house to definitely have personalized backpack for you, Jeff, if you
Well, I
want.
mean, it's
Ooh.
neat too because I mean, I bring them to every game I broadcast and go around and on planes and different things. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
I love backpacks, and I remember how cool we used to think we were by putting it on just on one
Oh yeah.
shoulder, and now my
Now it's
kids,
like now
yeah,
it's
you got to
full.
buckle it
Yeah.
down, do it up.
It's like
Yeah,
tight,
you
super
literally,
tight
yeah,
now.
it's got the clamps in the front, so you can, yeah, you can just, do your normal exercise in the morning with it on or whatever you want. So,
All them shoulder injuries we all have
That's
as
right.
old guys is because we were trying to be
Trying
cool
to be
back in the
cool.
90s. But like thinking about your journey, man, is I love bringing people on and just in the hobby and just seeing people's journey. According to your LinkedIn, you worked for Nestle in 2010 December, and then
yeah.
you were there for 6 or 7 years. So I got to know, man, while you were a sales rep and I think a utility lead or something like that,
hmm
slinging Nestle products, were you into cards back then? Like like when did that happen?
So I was actually with Nestle since I was 18 years old.
Wow.
It was Kraft at the time. It was the division that I was in. I worked for them as a part-time job.
Wow.
They gave me a full-time job while I was going to school. I'm a licensed barber as well, so I know that sounds kind of,
Hey.
but licensed barber. I still cut hair to this day on the side for people that have been with me for a long time as clients. But I ended up basically getting a sales rep job when I was 21 years old. Worked with them until 2017. So I was actually with them for about 17 years. But 2012, 2013, I collected as a kid. Obviously, that story is, I think, just, kind of the same amongst the industry is a lot of guys my age collected in the 80s, 90s, and then left and has kind of came back. And, I came back a little earlier than most, just kind of looking for something that's a hobby. I do like to fish, so that's one hobby. But anything like sports cards, sports is a something I love. So finding sports cards again was an interesting piece. I came over to my cousin's house. Him and his little kid are opening up some cards, and I thought I don't even know where I even got those. And then it happened to be at a Walmart, walking through and seeing some blasters sitting there, and I thought, okay, well, let me grab a few of these and see what happens. And then it didn't stop. I became a breaker. I'm on Facebook. I've got, allocations from 3 different distributors and things like that. And so while I'm working 60 to 70 hours a week at Nestle, I'm running a brake group and running about 1 million in revenue on the braking industry business, and then designing the slab cases as well. So it's been an interesting journey. I never thought, I always thought it'd be a side gig and be able to run it, while I worked, but it's turned into much more. So Clint Anderson, the utility lead at Nestle, was never thinking this was an option.
That's just such a great story, and obviously where the hard work comes from.
Yeah.
It's the grind, and that's what it.
Yeah.
So as you start to think about this idea and preparing it, and like just take everybody through what it is, start to finish. Like how does that process work?
Sure, yeah. In the inception of it, I'm really looking at it from a practicality perspective. I want to see the utility on what is the reason. I want to protect the cards, really, is the
Hmm.
main focus. And so finding EVA foam and then some other closed cell foam options. I never ever thought I'd be researching foam. I can tell you that much. But that was a story of my life in the beginning of what foam's probably going to be the best. And to be honest with you, it's foam. So a lot of our customers, that's still something we have a conversation around, because it's the most impacting for if a case fall like drops or hits. It's going to basically take that and not give a reaction to crack slabs inside of whatever case or storage compartment it is. So the foam essentially takes all of that impact. And that's why we still use foam to this day, because there are some things, foam wears out. It's just like your shoes. You wear them for 5 years, your foam and your rubber is going to wear out and stuff like that. Same thing with the case. If it's used, obviously it's gonna get wear and tear to it. But it's it was really the inside of the foam aspect of things, and we put it into, I don't know, Jameel, I sent you a Cubs Blue Goliath foam that you liked, right? That our new foam has some nice added features to it with some carbon fiber overlay and stuff like that to it. So the inside is just as important as the outside to me. But then obviously going into the outside, initially it was all black cases to start, and then we've seen a lot of opportunity, I think, with colors and people wanting to kind of get their own color that they like or style and size and stuff like that. So then the wheels just never really stop turning, and they kind of don't stop turning still to this day with a lot of other products that we're working on going into next year too. But yeah, it has a lot of utility because I want to make sure that it protects the cards, but also looks good as well. I never thought a briefcase or aluminum briefcase would look good, but I think they look pretty nice in my
Yeah.
opinion.
For sure. Maybe you can melt some chocolate into the foam with the Nestle background, or
There
do
you
something
go.
creative.
Yeah,
Make
yeah,
it like
yeah,
stick together better.
Have a Nestle themed
Yeah,
case.
that'd be
Yeah.
kind of cool. And then
yeah.
facility wise, like where does one do something like all this?
Yeah, so my garage was my first facility for about a year and a half, and then rented out a farm shed from a friend of mine, and then ended up buying my own warehouse about 3 years ago. They kind of a crazy story. They built a casino two properties down, and my taxes doubled in 2 years. So I sold that and then bought another property, and now we've got multiple machine sheds and things that we operate in, where we have kind of storage and places for offices, things like that. So that's our new facility. We just actually moved into it about 2 months ago and kind of getting everything fabricated. This office isn't even done. Actually, this is the first time I've had a meeting in this office, ironically enough, too. So
Nice.
we got a lot of new stuff coming. And to kind of go into what I was saying to Jeff earlier with the personalization, we have a UV printer, a very large industrial commercial UV printer getting delivered this week. So we're going to be able to do a lot of customization and interaction on the website where anybody, you pick your case, pick your foam inside. We actually got some different foam colors. Like Jameel, I sent him a blue one. So you'll be able to pick your foam, and then you'll actually be able to customize the lid if you would like that as well. So you could add, some inscription. You can add whatever you want. We've got MLB licensing as well, and then for brands like Meelypops, we could add Meelypops, across that and have it essentially something for like Jameel at shows. With like theft, essentially, you never know at any of the day if you got your Meelypops, essentially on that case, and it's yours. That's just some ways of personalizing the cases. I think is the next iteration to this piece is getting that done. So
Yeah, well, some feedback on the foam. I mean, great structure, stability, does a great job with transportation. Hideous colors, though, so we'll need to fix that.
the blue, yeah. You
No,
know what's so funny, Jeff? I could have sworn, and I don't know why. I mean, meeting everybody across this industry, I swear I thought Jameel was a Cubs fan, so that's why I sent
Wow.
this dude a blue phone. So
there's
and
only
then I
one.
see him, and I'm like, dude, he always wears a St. Louis hat. I'm like, I couldn't believe that I botched that one. So sorry
No,
about
no,
that.
it's good. Well, there'll be. I'll find a way to get back at you, Clint.
That's
Don't
right.
worry. There's only one C that I
Yeah.
that I rep, and it's the Cardinals. But then speaking of C's, the word customizable is something that you just said 4 or 5 times, and I'm thinking about just where we're at in the hobby. So many people, whether it be branding, whether it be the people that they follow on social media, whether it be the card shop that they go to, whether it be their own brand and their own breaking or whatever they have, their YouTube channel, it's so unique in the sense that it's very individualized now, and that you've done a great job, man. Like with just creating products that have become customizable, and it's great to hear about this new printer. I can't wait to see some of the new products that you have coming out. I bet you never thought that you would be not only building products in display cases and carry cases, but also movable seats, because I've seen many large guys using your
Yeah.
Zion cases as rolling seats, and
Oh
I'm
yeah.
not sure if they were designed for that, but they actually hold up these big guys pretty well, man. So I think
I
you've been
know.
ahead of your
Yeah.
time on that.
I'm pretty, yeah, no, it is fun. Yeah, when we first came out with the Goliath case, I had a guy come up and he's like, "Watch this," and he like flipped it around and he sat on it, and I said, "Oh yeah, that's awesome," and leave it to us. Our industry is very innovative. We like to figure out ways and easier ways to do things. So I said, hey man, that's awesome. That's like a seat. So then I use it as a selling point after that. At
Yeah.
once that one guy literally showed it, I'm like, I tell anybody that was looking at it, hey man, this also just kind of a heads up if you're looking through some boxes, but looking at some dollar cards or whatever, and you want to have a seat for a minute, you can just flip this thing around and have a seat. But
People are going to
it
start
is
asking
funny,
you,
yeah,
Clint.
that is yeah,
They're going to start asking you for cup holders and stuff now too, man. So you're going to have to start
exactly,
designing how
yeah,
to
yeah.
fabricate all this stuff, koozies,
I'm not
spacing.
even playing, Jameel. Literally, a guy showed me a picture of this foldable table that comes out of a luggage thing, and he's like, "You need to do this." He's like, "Because then I can just set up and basically trade on my table, and then just float it back up into the luggage." And I said, "That's not a bad idea." So
They have pop-up tents for like brands and stuff. So now we're gonna have pop-up card shops
pop
and
up
pop-up
luggage.
breakers. Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. Innovation is awesome. But you've been the king of that, and I had a chance to see you at Fanatics Fest. It was a great event. Your case got national notoriety on ESPN because Gronkowski decided to
Yeah,
destroy one of his slabs on your case, and it held up, and there
yeah,
was no issue. So that was a great selling point. You never know when you get these extra, tidbits for adverts. But there's something a lot of people don't know about Fanatics Fest is that you design these, I call them tray cases. I don't know what the exact name for them is, but they're these unique cases that you've built they're incredibly stackable. They're two pieces. They have this giant piece of plexiglass that kind of inserts on the top. And then what happens is the way you position it, Jeff, you can't open that from the front side, the customer facing, so you can only open it from the back. And then Clint's designed some spots for locks on that. But I just, it was super cool to kind of be at a show, an event. That was really more of an event than a show. I think it's, morphing into something in the future, maybe more show-like. But everything was uniform. And when you go to card shows, I always hear this a lot of the times, is it's very overstimulating for people, and there's so much variance at every place you go. And the nice thing about that event was it was pretty uniform. Everyone kind of had standard signage, so everyone was looking the same way. Their body mechanics. I think a lot about this in my therapy background, but like visual perceptual skills when you're looking at something, anti-glare, all these things that can affect how someone views your case. And when you're at a show, you got about 15 seconds to maybe look at a case, and then you're on to the next case. So if the cases suck, they're scratched, they're glary, whatever, it's going to screw a lot up. So I'd love to hear what your thoughts were on how you design these new cases. Sorry if I botched the name for them. They're not called tray cases, but what they're called.
You're fine.
And then also, like, are we lacking? I mean, is it ripe now? Are we ripe now for some kind of uniqueness in, innovating the display case game type thing? And, is it possible to create cases without, a glare, these kinds of things that are coming up at an angle, lights, all these kinds of things that I think can be fabricated. And then also I know with that case that you created, you had a unique setup customization for the front. So if you could talk a little bit about that, I don't think people realize it.
Oh no, for sure. It's still, we've been so busy this year with the amount of shows we've gone to and moving and things like that, obviously recently too, that we haven't done a ton of content around the display case to kind of show people what that entails, because it is something that when you're on the road for the past 6 years running showcases for these events, and a lot of people don't know this, but some do. We rent showcases out for shows that are all across the U.S. So we'll show up, we'll drop the cases at the tables, run that whole piece for the show, and then we pick them up at the end of the show, and we take them back on our trailer and take them back to the warehouse. So there's a lot of moving and stacking and picking up. And so, for 6 years, I had a long time to think about what are some options I can do to make it easier on myself, but also, like you said, the innovation of the display case. The Allstate cases are great, and they have great security, but they're 500 pounds,
Yeah.
and lugging them things around, trying to figure out where you're going to place them. They're big and bulky. It seemed like there could be a possibility where we could have something a little bit more streamlined, like you said. And then, I actually pitched that idea to have the uniformity at Fanatics Fest to EJ when he was there, and just kind of basically saying, hey, look, dude, what if you did this? You did the whole entire show with these display cases. And then, it's built into the booth and everything else, and you go from there. So I love that you brought that piece up, because I thought that's something that a lot of shows, like you said, aren't. Yeah, they kind of let everybody come and do their thing. And it's fine. It's their show and they can do whatever they want. But I think there was a show or needed a show where some uniformity, something that felt like you were just kind of like in the you kind of like walk and browse and everything looked fairly similar, but like you brought up the customizable options to the display case, you brought up a few that are actually going to be some iterations we're bringing out in 25 is the LED light strip that'll actually go around the inner tray, the basin.
Cool.
So you'll be able to, it has a little port out the back. You'll be able to kind of take that out. Most of them have a USB hookup. We'll actually sell these as a package on the website as well. So it'll be just some like a display case accessories tab on our website. But basically, you'll have LED stripped. We've got the risers that actually connect on the side, so it'll bring the case up at an angle so that you can always have it open and only access to the vendor side. And then we do have the customizable front sign. So it's 18 inches by 6 inches. And that's something that we're going to do in-house where, let's just say, Jameel, you call me and you're like, hey, I need 10 showcases at X event. And you're going to rent the showcases from me. You want your branding done, to be a small added cost or whatever per showcase. We'll actually bring those to the show. We'll display those out for you, and then we'll actually hook in the front sign essentially, so that anybody that's coming by your booth will get whatever activation you want, whether it's your just logo and branding and a QR code, or it's hey, buy, sell, whatever, whatever you're looking to basically display out in front. We can have that essentially out there. Or if you want to get down to like basketball, football, baseball, so people know what case they're walking up to essentially there. And then we have some other QR code opportunities that we're going to do for some digital side of this so that they could kind of come up and inventory scan your showcase and know what prices are on everything, stuff like that. Some tech that is definitely going to take some getting used to. As we know, this industry is a little older and is kind of coming into the modern phase, but I think there's definitely some tech opportunities with this as well that I think could make it a little easier for like some of the guys that may not want to talk to you, Jameel, not anything against you, but maybe they just want to come up and look and just kind of browse, and maybe they can scan a QR code and get an idea of what the prices are on, that display case essentially. So those are a few little things to hit on from that. But outside of just those options and those accessories, the functionality of the reason we built that display case is that in the same spot I can stack 24 of the old silver ones that we have. I can actually stack now 75 of the basins. And then, I built customizable carts that hold the lids, and then I built some carts on the that hold the basins essentially. And so what we do now when we come to a show, it used to be where we would one by one take all these silver cases off, stack them about 20 to 24 high on our carts, take them in, unload them, where now everything's on wheels. We have really high quality commercial or industrial caster wheels that we fabricated to the bottom of these carts. So now we just pull up, they're latched in our trailer, and we just wheel that thing off, and now we just go wheel around the show, and there is no lifting and pushing and putting on carts and things like that, which we do it at a very large scale. But as we've done, a lot of this, we've had a lot of repeat customers that have bought 5, 6, 7 because it's easier now to travel with them, and they're not having 7 or 8 showcases taking up most of their trunk or seats and things like that. So
yeah, awesome service. I love the QR code idea because there's sometimes I don't want to talk to them either, and I just I can just scan something.
Just scan my face.
I don't need
not have
to
to listen.
There you go. Yeah.
To make it happen. I'm a baseball guy, so I want to ask you a couple baseball questions. You got the like me too. We got the gray beard, like David Ross, a Cubs guy, of course. David was actually my catcher in college, so
that's cool.
We're really close. But I wonder, growing up a Cubs fan and being a part of that and going through the Bartman, time and all that other stuff, to see them finally win it. How cool was that?
Oh gosh, yeah, no, that was a long time coming. I kind of gave up. I'm gonna be honest, Jeff. I got so busy doing other stuff. I'll go, you know what? I'm done. I'll listen to the game on the radio, or I'd have it on in the background. But I was at a Chicago bar eating some food. I was actually working up there for Nestle when that ended up happening, and I remember walking out. I had never been more sick in my life that night. And I think it changed me as a fan a little bit, the whole Bartman situation. But to see them obviously, pull it off, I'm just more upset that they just traded everybody away after that, and then we
Yeah.
kind of sucked again for a little bit. But either way, no, it was awesome. Yeah, I think anything the so much heritage up there, and it's fun to see that go down for sure. That was exciting.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And we're seeing exciting times now, just in the whole baseball card world. These
Yeah,
patch autos that are coming out. Obviously, the Pirates, a division rival for both of your teams, are coming out and
yeah.
put the bounty on with Skeens and Livy Dunn stuff. Like, how crazy is that? And I guess if somebody pulls it, could you design something really cool if they give it back to the Pirates
Oh,
to
100%.
stick that
Oh
thing in
yeah.
Yeah.
there?
Yeah, that's something actually to be, to get a little bit dialed in. Whenever there is a certain card or a certain activation that someone's wanting to do, we've always actually done really cool stuff at shows. So, like, there was a Pat Tillman card somebody did and designed, and we actually did a whole customizable like American flag with some copy that they wanted on the case and stuff like that. So all day, if somebody was like, "Hey, I want a Paul Skeens, case, a slab case one, which we have those. They're literally a small briefcase that holds one card." We could easily, put that together and have a really cool design on it, or have it say something, whatever it may be. Now that's the that's the fun stuff of I think the next phase of this, the customizable piece. There's no doubt. But that bounty stuff is unreal. Yeah, I never thought it would get that. Uh, I'm a guy that was I'm a baseball guy too, and so I was prospecting mostly. I was doing Bowman before Bowman was cool, and I can't even buy Bowman autos no more. They're so expensive.
Yeah.
So this industry has went a different route for sure that I love it. It's awesome. I love it. There's people making money and it's doing what it's doing. And now to see bounties and everything else, it's definitely an interesting road for sure.
Well, the holidays are here, Clint. I personally own one of the wheeling versions that's been super helpful for me on getting stuff on airplanes and travel. It's fitting carry-ons. I think it's the 4.5 or the 4. Is that right?
Yep.
It's a been an awesome case for me. We had all the guys in the shop, say, well, I want a case. So then I want to text in Clint and said, I need to get the guys' cases in shop. So they're all
Yeah.
wheeling their cases around. They're excited about it. But it makes me think about gifts, and there's so many people who are in the hobby now, and I do think with the value and with theft issues and all the things that we're seeing, they are probably the perfect present for somebody. So maybe you could share the best like gift idea you'd have for somebody maybe listening to this podcast and thinking, hey, I need something for myself to treat myself for holidays, or maybe I need to get a gift for somebody. Also, if you are listening, Meelypops is a special code that you can put on Zion and get 10% off. So not only get a sweet gift, you're going to get it even cheaper. So if you have any good
100%.
recommendations on it, man, let the people know.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, look, beginners, you got slab case go and you got a slab case two row, which is your smallest versions. They're going to hold about 25 to 50 roughly. Those are great for, basically, the new collector, the kids, things like that. Because at the end of the day, and we try to do it even with the kids at the shows, we want to get them a case in their hands, man, because it ain't nothing more, I think, rewarding than seeing a little dude running around, or even a little girl running around with a case. And we've got girl colors too. We got pink and purple. And if you like that, or if you just like the standards, we got blacks, the greens, blues, everything else. But in my mind, I would, if you are looking to get a gift, we've got a couple opportunities actually this holiday season that we're actually partnering with Cardboard Gold to do some kind of bulk packaging. So basically, like buy a case, you get supplies as well with it. So you're going to get top loaders, sleeves. We've got one touches, we've got Mag Pros, things like that. And then there's going to be like 7 different packages you could choose from. So it'd be an awesome, I think, gift idea because most of these guys, I think, are going to get some wax, and girls are going to get some wax or something like that too during the holidays to have the supplies in the case to put it all in. It's a nice, I think, feature that you're going to be able to do on our website is, buy the package that you want essentially. So get the case size you want and then add from there the supply package that you would like as well. I think that's going to be a big hit this holiday for sure.
That sounds awesome. Yeah.
Well, and I even think about just, me, because I don't have these gazillion-dollar cards or anything, but I just, all the guys that I broadcast for or have played with, like I love just getting a card of theirs. It might be a $5 card, $10 card, whatever, but just to put that on a wall somewhere or have it in a room, I think that would be really cool to have that some kind of display like that for your man cave,
And also,
so to speak.
Yeah, we actually are, and some guy, I would assume most people know him, but Show Your Slabs or Corey Fick is a guy that does a lot of the displays. So Corey's actually going to be coming on board with us, and he's going to do some working his magic essentially with some display opportunities for us. So we'll have some interesting added products in 2025 from the display piece. So speaking to kind of what you just said, Jeff, we're gonna have some cool packages that I think would be neat with our Mag Pro. Is a hot seller. That thing. Talk about units. In one year we've done like 220,000 units already. So
Wow.
it's been a great innovative product. I think that, just adding a tab, right? All we did was really add a tab in a customizable option up there just so that you could, like you said, Jeff, get the guy you like. And then we also have MLB licensing for the labels. So you can actually go on our website now and buy, if the Paul Skeens, card gets hit, he could throw it in a Mac Pro with a Pirates label on it or something like that. Or whoever you're collecting as well, you can throw their team up there and then his card underneath. So
Pretty cool.
The innovator himself, Mr. Clint Anderson, with all these iterations. It's amazing to see where you come from, man, and just just getting to know you from shows and just seeing how it grows. It's awesome. It's awesome that we can do this, that we can be in this hobby, we can live in a country, that we can do this and have the freedom to grow these things. It's awesome. But I got to close you out, man, with a tough little bit here. We have this thing called the Titan MRI Rapid Fire segment, and I'm gonna grill you on some questions, and you just got to answer them quick. But I'm seeing if you're going to be up for it, Mr. Cubs fan. Can you handle this?
Maybe. I'm not very good on the spot, so we'll see.
All right. Well, let's get into our Titan MRI rapid fire questions with the one and only Clint Anderson from Zion Cases here on the Meelypod Hobby Podcast. All right. First question, Clint. I need to know, how vast is your love for the St. Louis Cardinals?
Dude, honestly, I know this is going to be a little longer than you like, but I lived in St. Louis for the '08 through 2011. So I got to see you guys tear it up in a couple of years. And I'm a baseball fan. So it was actually very fun being in that city while that was going on. I could respect it, but I don't like them. I'll just tell you that right now.
See that?
So.
Some secret love from the Cubs fan, but I get
secret love
X9's a Gator. He's from here, Clint. All right. Rolling case or carry case?
Oh, rolling. Yeah. I'm old now. I'm in my 40s, man. We need a roller.
We get it.
You got it. The youngins carry those, but the us old men need the roller. How many shows will Zion have done in 2021? I think you mentioned it earlier, but let me flip it on you. How many do you anticipate doing in 2025?
We're cutting back a little bit. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I say that, and we just found out like the con added six shows or something next year, so we could be back in the 50s probably again. Is my thought.
Yeah, there's only 52 weeks in a year, and he said 56, 60 earlier. And so think about that, folks. Multiple teams, multiple places. Yeah. The logistics on this guy. All right, next question.
Where we did 4 in a weekend. 4 shows.
That's amazing.
That was,
4 different shows. All right, what's the weirdest thing you've ever been told or maybe even seen that someone put in their Zion case?
Well, there was something to answer there. I'll leave that alone.
Okay.
But, there is I've seen food in there. seen a guy open it up with 3 subs in every row. So he said, "Look at this," and I said, "Oh gosh, that's hilarious." And he said, "Yep, that's how you get it in through the secure or through the front or
Oh,
whatever."
smart
So
thinking.
Well, knowing how the card world is, that man wasn't eating those. He was flipping them. He was
Yeah.
selling them at the card shows because the
probably,
guys. That's
yeah.
exactly what was happening. All right, Clint, what's the best Nestle candy bar?
Oh shoot, I would have to say the Nestle Crunch. That was
No
my
doubt.
go-to.
It's a
Yeah,
go-to.
for sure.
Nestle Crunch. There it is. What's worse, my
Yep.
friend? A single screw down case that might be cracked at the top. You know what I'm talking about. Or
Oh yeah.
a 4 screw down case that's tightened too tight.
I think the 4, just because it's yeah, that thing's ugly too, man. I can't believe we even put those in
They were the
our
thing.
cars in those things.
I think I had my Joe Montana rookie in it
People
one
had the
time.
best card brute.
Yeah.
I've seen roots
I
in them.
know.
They are, and they didn't put sleeves on them, and so they're actually like when you take them out, those are they're pretty like dense. You could use those as a weapon too. So if you need a
Oh,
little
100%. Yeah,
side
those things
knife going
yeah.
on. All right, my friend, you have gone many places around the country. You mentioned it with all these shows. I want to know where's the best food. What is one of your favorite places to go for food? We're foodies here too, so.
Um, I would say I'm a steak and potato guy, so I'm pretty easy to please on that too. So a nice cheesecake factory or some
Ooh.
medium style steakhouse all day. But I would say probably my number one is barbecue though. We
Ooh.
Kansas City's got some really good barbecue. Whenever we go there, it's fun. There's so much barbecue opportunities there. So.
Got Patrick Mahomes, Taylor Swift, and barbecue, man. There you
Yeah.
go,
There
Kansas
you go.
City.
Yeah.
That's where it's at. All right, I want to know what you think a better tagline is for Zion: custom briefcase or swag showcase?
Swag showcase. Yeah.
Ah,
Gotta
okay.
go the alliteration.
Yeah, I
always.
mean, got to
Good
go the
answer.
alliteration. All right, man. Last one. I know you kind of alluded to some things here. I don't know what you can kind of share with the research and development here, the R&D. But can you give the people at home a little tease on something coming down the pipeline with Zion?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think this is the age of really personalization. I think that one of the biggest complaints, and I love hearing feedback. I'll take constructive criticism all day. So I want to make things better and want to make sure that we're doing things right for the community and our customers. So one thing that we've been asked a lot is for some way of personalizing the case. So we're going to have some different options with the printer coming in. There's going to be a availability for anybody to add whatever they want, to make sure that that's their case, because selling 150,000 of them, they're all over the place. As you know, you've seen them,
Sure.
Jameel, at the shows and whatnot. Getting them mixed up with people, that's like the last thing we want to do. So having some personalization options is, I think, a big opportunity. And then we are also getting into some other opportunities outside of cases. Zion is. We'll be actually launching a company where we're going to do some customizable cards and setting them up at shows to do some cool pieces of that. So, you see them obviously doing different stuff at the shows, all these different companies that are bringing like a machine and are doing it for fun. Well, we're going to kind of step up the game and bring it from an accessory piece also with a really quality card that's actually going to be in there as well, with all the different variations and everything you can do. On top of that, we're teaming up with sports teams and other things around the country, and also franchising this out. We got 10 franchises that'll actually be launching next year to set up at sports complexes and things like that. So it'll be a different year for us because that's different than cases, but the cases are kind of running themselves, and I'm always going to innovate. So I think adding, pieces here and there is going to be fun. I've got a few products that I've got kind of sitting on the shelf right now that we're going to introduce next year as well. But I think it's really going into the personalization this next year and doing some cool custom stuff and some ideas around that for sure. So.
We hear it from Zion. We've had other guests on the past too. Customization, custom cards, some interesting shifts happening in the hobby for sure. But you survived, my friend, the Titan MRI Rapid Fire podcast, Rapid Fire segment with Clint Anderson from Zion Cases. We appreciate you, man. Happy early Thanksgiving and the holidays coming up, Christmas and all those things around there. But make sure if you are listening, man, go check out the website. It's zioncases.com. Is that right?
Yep.
And Instagram, Twitter, you're on all those things. I know I see you there posting things. So go check them out. And if you go to any major show, you're gonna see Clint and his team. So make sure you go give him a Cardinals card for me if you would. So
there you go. Yeah. But if you do go to the website, use Meelypops on the discount code too.
Oh,
so
yeah, there you go.
All it is code Meelypops. That's all you got to do. Thanks, man.
Get your 10%. Well, you talked about the personalization, Clint. Great personality. Loved meeting you, man, and wish you the best of luck. And again, encourage everybody to check out that website. Really cool ideas for the holiday season coming up.
For sure.
All right, Clint. Thanks so much, man.
Yeah, nice meeting you too, man. For sure.
Yep, no doubt. All right, that is Clint Anderson. We'll come back with more of the Meelypod Hobby Podcast right after this. Things have certainly got a little out of hand lately when it comes to just buying our everyday necessities. Just look at gas, streaming services, and heck, even chicken wings. Well, there is one necessity that shouldn't cost a ton: taking care of yourself and helping fix all the aches and pains in life, and the fine folks at Titan MRI agree. With costs a fraction of what you'd pay at a hospital, you'll not only save money, you'll be taken care of by staff with over 20 years experience. So when you need an MRI, call Titan first, and you can go where your doctors send their families. Now offering CAT scans. All right, we welcome you back. Just great stuff again from Clint. And Jameel, I'm always fascinated by all these different guests from the hobby world. And, you're starting to learn about them, personality. Everybody is extremely awesome. But just the uniqueness of it all, certainly the grind and how hard they work. But, who would have thought that you had backpacks and rolly things and just all these different designs that you can get? It's pretty incredible.
When I was in middle school, you used to get beat up if you had a rolly thing.
Yeah.
So this is the next level, man. Things have changed. The backpacks are no longer one arm; they're both on two. So Clint's done a great job in just creating and innovating. I think there's going to be a world of tech and space that's going to really innovate the car world. He mentioned it kind of in there as well, which is funny, talking about the Tupperware and the cardboard boxes. There is an old guard, right? There is kind of an old way of doing things, which I think a time is coming where there's going to be a change. You're going to start to see more tech involved. We're starting to get there. You're going to start to see more of the inventory management. You're going to start to see more with pricing. Safety is a massive one. Something I didn't even think about to ask him, but I've been hearing a lot about people putting air tags in their cases, but there's a way to hide it in the foam. So that's a great idea to put that in and kind of safeguard your cases if they ever do get stolen. We know about the Dallas Card Show, the $2.1 million theft. That was in a Zion type case, or that someone came in and took. So if that had an air tag in, or someone had paid attention, maybe that would have helped a little bit. So little things like that, I think, go a long way, and he's very detail minded. So it was great having a conversation with him.
Yeah, certainly so. Well, I might need to get one of these cases because I know Thanksgiving's coming up and Black Friday's right around the corner, and I'm gonna come. I know you probably got some deals, and I'm gonna get a big hit one of these days.
One day
I will need a case.
Well, Black Friday for us, man, the Thanksgiving Black Friday weekend has always been something in our shop where I look at it as kind of like a give back. We want people to be able to get stuff affordable. I know the hobby can get expensive sometimes, so we try our best to just blow out a lot of things, stocking stuffers, gifts. We have a lot of cards in the display cases that are 25%, 30% off. There's sticker price. We have wax that we put down this year. Black Friday Panini packs have come back, which you can pull Caitlin Clark massive cards out of autographs. You can pull Wembanyama rookies. There's all sorts of cool cards in here. Skeens is in it. And the Black Friday packs will be associated with certain Panini boxes that you buy, so you get those in shop. We'll have Pokemon giveaway, and then something really cool for our both shops. Gainesville, we've been around a little bit longer, so we can give a little bit more, but we're going to have a $1,000 store credit giveaway that if you come in the shop and you purchase anything up to $150, you get a raffle ticket, and you can continue to get as many raffle tickets as you want. The more you spend, and we're going to give $1,000 away store credit at the end of the day. And then South Carolina is doing the same, I think, with $500.
Wow,
so
awesome.
There's a way to just get a chance to win a ton of money that we can come back and spend it. We're also going to have, I'm sure, maybe a food truck or something out there, have some fun with it, and lots and lots and lots and lots of deals. So don't want to miss. Both shops are really focusing on this, and come on out, go visit this the Spartanburg shop in South Carolina, Meelypod SC. They have more space than we do, so they're going to have even bigger sale than us. And then in our shop here in Gainesville, our 2,000 square feet, we'll make it work. But it's a lot of fun, and I love to see the people that come out. I get introduced to so many grandmas and grandpas, or nieces and nephews, and get a chance to really engage them in the hobby. So that's gonna be fun, man. I can't wait for you
Black
to get a
Friday
deal.
Is such a fun way to go. And I mean, I remember when DVDs were the thing, I'd get to Walmart at like 5 a.m. just to get like the $3 DVDs. So I know you guys probably won't open at 5 a.m., but how early are you getting over it that day?
So one thing about Black Friday, Jeff, that I'm getting tired thinking about it, I'm rubbing my head, is this thing about, we have the shop open early. We open I think it's like 9 or 10. We have some extended store hours to 7 p.m. But we're also doing stuff online.
Yeah.
And last year, Black Friday on TikTok, Instagram, and whatnot, we did massive numbers in that day. And so I remember going to the back, and I wasn't breaking a point, but I looked at, I think it was Justice, and he was just surrounded by packs and cards that he was ripping. And then another guy was breaking, and they were like, kind of like shell shock kind of thing, because there was so much going on. So we will have that as well with our online front deals there as well. Make sure you follow our TikTok shop, because there's coupons that you can get with Black Friday. Whatnot has no fees that day, so we're going to have everything at a discounted price on Whatnot. And then, of course, we have our Instagram normal break. So be a lot of fun. You can engage with us on multiple ways, whether it be in the shops or Meelypops breaks, meelypops.com.
Awesome. So make sure you get after it on Black Friday. All right, we're going to get after it with our wax segment. You talked about ripping and packs and all that. I'm sure there's some good ones coming out again this week.
Well, Santa has his bag full of wax this year. We have had so many releases. Last week with Update Chrome was massive, right? But then you had all the other things going on. Here's just this week. So very nice baseball product that I think you'd love to rip. It's called Topps Gilded Collection. It's these gold cards, and they've come out this now their third iteration, the third year. Very, very beautiful high-end cards that sell very, very well. There's 6 boxes in a case. So Gilded's this week. And then if you liked your racing world, you got Topps Chrome F1 coming out this week, which a lot of people with F1 has kind of died down over the past 2 years. But now, if you followed F1 with Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton going back to the to the Ferrari team next season, there's a lot of hype again back into F1. So it used to just be Verstappen crushing everybody every single year. Now it's changing again. So we'll see what happens with that. F1's coming out this week. A new product called 23-24 Ingrained Hockey will also be out. It's a cool. They put parts of the sticks and the pucks and stuff in the cards ingrained for the wood stick. So it's a kind of a cool product that they take on that. Going to your Speedo and your wrestling days, Jeff. WWE 3 Count is coming out, which is like a fancy version of Panini 1 football or Panini 3 and 2 basketball. They have one for the WWE. So they were kind of 1 card, 2 cards per box, and they're encased, they're slabs. So there's a WWE version of that. And
speaking of that real quick, I've gotten to meet so many really cool athletes over the years and been around them. And a couple of weeks ago in Austin, Texas, the football game, the Gators were there. Obviously didn't go well on the field, but up in the press box, I got to meet The Undertaker.
Oh, wow.
It was so freaking cool. Like, out of all these sports guys, I think I was more like amazed. There's The Undertaker. Holy crap. Like, it was a
what
cool
was that like?
deal. It was really neat. Shook his hand, and obviously it was massive.
Yeah.
And
you're tall too, so was he taller than you?
He was taller than me.
Wow.
Yeah, I think probably 6'6".
Wow.
And we were muscle-wise, we were similar. But
yeah.
He was just a little taller.
Yeah,
but
that's pretty cool.
For sure.
Undertaker, just legend right there.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he has stuff in there. I know he's got a lot of autograph cards and all the Panini products. So a couple other releases. Big one for football, 2023 Panini Flawless Football. So this will be the last year's class. It'll be game used patch autos and stuff inside of the hits. It's a very expensive box. I think it's around the $4,500 a box, almost $10,000 a case. But Flawless is always just kind of that big marquee, and they sent it out during Christmas time. Yeah. So Marvel Studios Series 2 Cinematic. I heard that Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson has autographs in this product, and he's a very rare autograph to find. He doesn't sign many things, so he's in the product. And then lastly, I think this is kind of the sneaky product that people don't know about. 24 Donner's Football Hobby, which has already come out. They're coming out with a Winter Tins And in the winter tins, I've heard that you can hit downtown cards. So for a $28, $30 price point, you can do very well by hitting a huge downtown card. So a lot of cool stuff that's coming out this week. We're going to see more of this into the wax world. But again, Meelypops.com, SCMeelypops.com. We got you.
Yes, that they do. So make sure you check it all out. All right, well, have a great weekend, to chill maybe.
A little bit. I'm actually going to the Jacksonville Duval Card Show Friday, Saturday. So I'll be over there in Jax, but we'll be back, and then we'll have Black Friday weekend.
Yeah, and we'll have another podcast for you next week as well. We'll come up with a cool number 26 for you. But that was 25. We said Vince Carter, but how about the guy that chicks dig the long ball? Mark McGuire was also
Big
25.
Mac, Sammy Sosa, Barry Bonds, the three right there, right?
Should be in the Hall of Fame too, by the way. But that's for another podcast. For Jameel, I am Jeff. That was the Meelypod Hobby Podcast.
Thank you for joining us. We will see you next Thursday at noon.